Afternoon. How we all doing? John says, don't be a bum. Smack that thumb. Just so you know. Get them working. Afternoon, Ian, Steve, Crump, Julian, Fletch, Gregors. It's time. Evans, Evil. Afternoon, David, Eri, Kennelly, Mark, Day Trader, Alan Bay, Hendrikas. How are you doing? So yeah, is that 36 of you? How are we doing? So we've had some news this morning. It's FOMC day today. So we had the Australian CPI came out as negative this morning. We've had a couple of ADR hits. Straight down, hit ADR, straight back up, hit ADR, coming back down again. So double ADR there. You got two opportunities to get in. If you got in on the ADR short, well done, you're out. If you got in on the ADR long, well done, you're in profit. So yeah, big one there. Aussie dollar yen, we had an ADR hit to the downside. That one's bounced as well. Pound odd, ADR hit to the upside. That's bounced. All three ADRs today, straight in, straight out, done. Really easy today. Entry out. So yeah, so all the ADRs straightforward today. Not a massive move on the Aussie, as you can see. There's only three ADRs, so it's been fairly sideways. Really. Afternoon, Eddie. I like John. Glitch. Afternoon, Virginia. Farm has been smacked. Excellent. So we had that, which puts more pressure on reducing interest rates for the Aussies. The Euro CPI came out as a plus 0.2 instead of a plus 0.1. So they were anticipating the monthly CPI to remain as it was. It's slightly ticked up ever so slightly. The Euro, they don't plan on putting their interest rates down until summer, possibly spring. So, but as you can see, very little movement on the Euro. We had a little bit of an uptick, but that was before the German rates came in. So since the rates have come in, nothing much has happened at all. US unemployment cost index and the CAD GDP came out. Sorry, that was the CAD GDP. What did I just say? That was a CAD GDP went up by 0.1. What was I talking about then? I was off on another planet. Non-farm employment change came out as a negative for the US. It's basically been a nothing's happened today, basically. We've had a bit of a drop US-wise off the back of those numbers. And they're quite down, as you can see. We were 158 forecasting 148. We got a 107. So that's quite a big drop, but we haven't had an ADR hit off of it. So nothing's really going to move today because it's FOMC. They're going to hang around until that comes out. So not really going to be doing an awful lot today. So those are your ADRs. There are no RSIs to look at. Market's flat. I had a very long stream this morning. It was about 3 hours, something like that. So if you want to be entertained, go and watch this morning's live stream because it was a really long one. We talked about a lot of stuff. 31st January? That's it, isn't it? Yeah. 2 hours, 53 minutes. So go and watch that. But this afternoon, there's not really a lot to discuss because anything you do today is going to be affected by not non-farm payroll, by the FOMC announcement. So it's all about preparing for this evening. The 5.5 is what we are expecting. Very, very, very unlikely that will change. The Fed have almost come out and said it pretty much every month. We are not changing our interest rates until at least March, April, possibly about into July. Sometimes it's September. Depends which way the wind's blowing and whether or not Powell's got his blue suit on or his black suit on, basically. But at the end of the day, that ain't going to change today. If it does change today, it's going to be a catastrophic 300 ADR move in one direction or the other, but very, very unlikely. We got the statement coming out at the same time. Unlikely that we'll get a lot of movement off of that. We will almost certainly get a whipsaw off of it, but that's what we're waiting for. So sometime between 7:45 to 8:15, when that finishes, and during it, we will get some movement. So that's what we're interested in, is 7:30 this evening. That's when we're going to start to get that market movement coming in, because this is our forward guidance for the next month to a quarter on what we should be doing with the US dollar. The banks will start to make their moves when that comes out. So that number there, although it be very bad, which also looks forward to non-farming payroll, usually they're pretty much the same, meaning the unemployment rate possibly going up, means that it quite possibly is going to be a negative US week. So we'll have to wait and see what the figures are, but we'll see what happens this evening. So that's basically what we've got today. As you can see from the RSIs, the market isn't going anywhere at the moment. Non-farm payroll week, we tend to get that because we don't want to go anywhere. No one wants to put any big orders in the market ahead of FOMC because you don't know whether you should be buying it now or buying it tomorrow. So not really any real reason to do anything today. So any movement that you get is likely to get undone today. However, they do seem to be pretty weak on the US, weaker than I would expect off of that number before FOMC. But anyway, so we got some ADRs, Euro US dollar, ADR. So that's really all you've got to look at the moment, is your ADR reversals. The one just about to go in on the Euro US there. But anything you take today on anything really can change this evening. So just be a little bit careful. I'm showing 5 ADRs. Is there a setting somewhere I have wrong? Nope. It'll just be basically your broker will have slightly different data. What's the other ADR you're showing? It's probably a New Zealand dollar pair, I would imagine. Seeing if there's anything close. New Zealand US for me is not far off. New Zealand yen is not far off either. So if your broker has put a wider spread candle in than mine has, you'll have an ADR on one of those two probably. Just so you know, I'm working on CFD for futures. What? Okay. Good for you, Brian. Oh, are you talking about a John Wick thing? Morning, Julio. Morning, Baggy. Rico. Virginia. Yes, I nearly lost the will to live. Afternoon, Peter. Thanks for the 3 hours this morning. Still awake? US dollar CAD you've got, have you? That's miles away from an ADR hit. Nowhere near ADR. Well, I'd say it's nowhere near. It's 17 pips away. That's a quarter of an ADR away. You must have different broker data. Maybe your broker's put a whacking great spread candle in today. That was, I mean, it would have to be a spread candle going down there, giving you an extra quarter of an ADR. Then you would have got an ADR hit to the upside. Aussie dollar, US dollar just hit ADR. Mine hasn't, but yeah, it's about, now it has. Now it has. One more tick. It needs one more tick. Now it has. There you go. Aussie US ADR. So US dollar still dropping. So I'd be very surprised if we get too much more on this. However, don't anticipate that meaning it's going to do that. It's very likely to do something like that because we're not going to want to go very far. But I mean, look at this thing. Like playing tennis. New Zealand dollar, US dollar, ADR. So New Zealand dollar really dropping at the pre-market open. Another ADR. But these might all reverse off the back of this. So just so you know, I'm not trading indices today. I did say so this morning and yesterday. FOMC day. This week has been an absolute nightmare for indices. It's just been jerk sideways. It's just not doing anything. So I'm not trading indices at the moment today. Well, I will probably start again tomorrow or Friday. But we've got the interest rate numbers for the pound. So the UK market and potentially the DAX probably not going to do a lot. So it's been a very tough month on the indices, and FOMC day is probably not going to move anywhere. Saying that, I have got an account running with it on, which I'm not sure if I turned it off or not. Oh, I didn't. Okay. Yeah, well, we can look at them then. So, yeah, there we go. So you've broken short on the NASDAQ, short on the Dow, and nothing on the S&P yet. This is a reduced risk account. So basically, with the indices, I'm moving back over to Robo Forex, basically, because I cannot get on with that leverage. You can't work with 30 to 1 leverage, as we know. New Zealand dollar CAD ADR. So the Canadian dollar is also moving. It's quite a big move ahead of FOMC. This is Canadian dollar weakness, obviously off the back of the US. So the US and the CAD move together. The US is weaker than the Canadian. So good moves going on there. Might actually bank some more profit before that. US dollar yen coming down nicely. I got an itchy nose. I'm going to sneeze. Saved it. Mine hit the above ADR. Aussie US. Yeah. Aussie US just hit yours as well. Yeah. Yeah. Everyone's going to have ever so. Unless you're trading on Robo Forex, as I am, on the same account type that I am, it doesn't matter the account type, but I mean, unless you're trading on my broker, you're going to see ever so slightly different price candlesticks. You may have a 2-hour swap break instead of a 1-hour swap break. So your ADR is going to be ever so slightly different. And the difference between 1 or 2 pips is the difference between a signal triggering or not triggering. So it's just ever so slightly different. But at the end of the day, it's, getting close to. Which reminds me, I've just done a little test. On when did I do it on? This one. Testing a lower than ADR entry. Not something I've looked at before, but instead of testing, because Market Reverse Alerts EA has a drop down for entry. So I've put an input field for ADR on this. So you could trade, if you wanted to, 80% mean reversion plays on ADR. So something people have asked for before, and I've just realized you can do it with this new thing that I'm building. So you could set ADR to 80% because we spend 58% of the time within ADR, which means 58% of the time it moves up, doesn't hit ADR. So if you get to 80% of ADR or 90% of ADR, there's a good mean reversion opportunity there. A la this chart. Yeah, that sort of move. So I'm just testing that on this account here. So, be interesting to see that. Might do a back test on that at some point. Ignore the numbers. This is obviously just testing. So it's just throwing money into the market basically to test functionality. And we just closed out. That was what I was. Let me just quickly check that because that's exactly what I wanted to check. That should have closed out at $208. 165, 57 plus 7. 204, which will be minus commission. Perfect. Lovely. That works. pretty much there, you know. Just testing functionality at the minute, which is why it's running on so many 1 minute charts, just to make sure everything is actually working as it should. That variable needs to be reset. Variables on close. Okay, sorry, working while I'm working. So there's nothing to look at on ADRs, nothing to look at on RSIs. Well, there's lots to look at on ADRs actually, but I'd just be a little bit wary about this US dollar move. I'm a little bit surprised we've got so much pre-market ahead of FOMC, so be a little careful. Indices probably will break long. So yeah, they are breaking long, basically. If the US dollar's coming down, the indices are going to go long today. So if you are in stock index hedge or in ORB trades, I mean, got highs there. We're out the highs on the Dow and the propulsion gap target, which is ADR on the NASDAQ. But I'm not convinced this is going to keep doing this move on the US, but we'll see. Normally we don't get this much movement on FOMC. Morning, Matt. Plus 30 pips on UJ. I'm taking them before they take them away. Good man, Evans. So yeah. Sorry, I was just thinking out loud in my head. Well, I'm not thinking out loud. I'm thinking quietly in my head. I suddenly thought of something else I want to do with the EA. So obviously it's the end of the month. So basically pretty much month is over apart from FOMC. So results basically for H1M5 this month, 8.63%. I have got quite a lot that I can bank. So what I'm going to be doing is before end of day today, before FOMC, basically, I shall be banking anything that is decent in profit. And by decent in profit, I usually go with about 1/4%. So anything that is about $120 or so, about $130 is 1/4%. So I will bank that ahead of FOMC and stick it all down here. Any single trades I've got on that are sitting there like that, might as well bank it. Better off down there than possibly going into drawdown. It could go flying, don't know, but I'd rather just get that in the bank. So I'll be banking some more today, depending on what happens with price. If this carries on this afternoon, I might be banking the whole lot before FOMC anyway. But anyway, so yeah, 8.63% H1M5 mean reversion. So the EA's done very good this month. I've done one aggressive drawdown control all month. That's it, which is pound yen. So other than that, all full automation. Apart from targeting, obviously, which is propulsion. ADR reversals has banked 17.5%. We've got Aussie New Zealand to bank. We're just tapping into low of day. I'm just seeing what the price action is going to be at lower day today. Get through that level. A little pop through the lows. I don't really want to hold that. Might as well just get out of that as well. I closed out half of it overnight in case the Aussie dollar rallied off the back. So I'm just going to close the Aussie dollar, New Zealand dollar. Might as well just get out of it. I'm not going to worry about it then. So there you go. That one's closed as well. Aussie, New Zealand. So that was first entry, second entry, third entry. Another two there. So basically that was the first, second, third. I closed out the second and the third on that pushback. I did another short there, another short there, or rather the EA did. Took that one off overnight because we had the Aussie dollar news, and I've just closed those out. So lovely big profit on all of that today. So that takes me up to 18% for the month. Very nice. Sitting in 0.76. Again, same thing here. I will be closing anything that is in decent profit and sticking it down there before the news. No more trades taken on this because we haven't had any decent ADRs, although stuff might get to 125 today. If anything gets to 125 ADR today, which is my trigger point, that's where I'll be taking it. So I might get some more positions onto that today. US dollar Swiss has just hit ADR. This US dollar is really moving. So traders suddenly factoring in 1.5% cuts rather than 1.25, which is what we were looking at for the ECB, for the euro. More treasury news. This is why this is moving. Ah, right, okay. This is why we need to check the news, people, which I didn't do when I came on. So this is nothing to do with that unemployment figure. This move is off the back of the treasury again, which is exactly what they did to us the other day. They suddenly went, here's our treasury news, which wasn't forecast. So refunding of 121 billion to raise new cash of 15 billion. So again, US borrowing more money. Fed swaps price 15 basis point cuts for March meeting versus 9 the prior day. So March, they're saying now, is more likely that that's going to be the first rate cut. It's not going to be 15. It will be 0.25. So that's why we're getting this drop. So this is kind of what we were, well, what I was expecting, the sort of thing to come out during the FOMC press conference and statement this evening. We're getting stuff released to us early, which is why we're seeing this action. So be careful getting in front of these Canadian and US moves. There is a possibility that it will all get undone at FOMC, but there's also a possibility that they will hammer that home on FOMC and the dollar will drop later as well. So just be a little careful trying to mean revert these. Wait for some serious confirmation. You're not going to get reversal alerts on that, for example, until you get all the way up there. So, but just be a little careful with those. We need to keep our eye on that because obviously there seems to be news being drip fed out. So that's 18% on the ADR reversals. CAD Swiss, I'm likely to be able to shut that out today as well. That's halfway to target, which is basically those lows. Hedging, 2.5% in drawdown, bank 9.7 so far this month. Same thing. There isn't really a lot I can take, to be honest. There's a couple of bits that can be banked. So that US dollar yen I can bank, that New Zealand dollar CAD I can bank. So I might stick that down there, which will give me 1.5%-ish on the day. So I just want to see why that didn't take that trade. See, this is the problem with the reversal alert. Yeah. The reversal alert is down there, nice and tight. Looks like a lovely tight W pattern, doesn't it? The reversal alert happened 40 pips, which is over half an ADR away from the previous entry. However, the candle close for that reversal alert was all the way up there. So in 15 minutes, you had a huge move like that. The distance between that candle close and there, which is how the MRA works, is 33 pips. That's less than half an ADR. Yeah, half an ADR is my scaling. Now, this is the hedging one, actually, but it doesn't matter. But this gives an example of why I'm looking to potentially change the mechanism for entry. Because I was just looking at that thinking I would have taken another position down there. This is H1 hedging, so different strategy. Target is going to be up at those highs on both of these positions, but you know, this is the sort of thing that I will just be banking ahead of anything decent. I'm just going to bank it ahead of FOMC. So good month overall, 9.7 there. 18% on ADR reversals. Again, seems to be the number one strategy at the moment. ADR is going off all over the place, and 8.6% there. Although I might get some more out of that today as well. I haven't really got much else to do on analysis this afternoon because there's no point in talking about anything because it's FOMC. It's all going to go mental. Plus 30 pips on UJ. Yep. Euro puking. Yep. Chuck's afternoon. Hearing so much McDonald's. Had to get some. Inside now ordering a Big Mac. Yep. If you were in this morning's live room, we were talking a lot about McDonald's employees and how they like to become traders, and I'd send them to McDonald's. Not being nasty, but some people are just not destined for this as a career. I had one this morning. Will not let it go. I've told him 3 times. The fact. It's not even an opinion the person's asked for. It's a fact. And I've given him the fact 3 times. Nope. It's like, see that thing up there? That's the sky. It's blue. Nope. It's yellow. Nope. It's blue. Nope. It's yellow. Okay. It's yellow. Off you go to McDonald's. Afternoon, Mumo. One of those. How do you manage to move the text, numbers, data in X or Y direction on the Trade Manager dashboard? For some reason, some of the data are out of the page. So in the Trade Manager dash, you can only move this. Yeah. So the original Trade Manager dashboard looks like this. Yeah. And it was designed to sit down here and have your charts above it. Yeah. That's how I designed it. But I, including most people, tend to work with windows side by side. So the problem with that is that the information crashes. So I put an input to basically this one here, y-axis for historical data, to move that down. Like that. That's the only control you've got. I have the same setting, but it's still showing at the bottom. Ah, right. Well, then you basically, you've got it running. If this runs in a window, yeah? So it's the same as an RSI. Yeah, this is your chart. Can't draw. Yeah. So if you see my icon, my pointer, yeah, is changing from a pointer to a drag box. It's because I'm adjusting that window. So it runs down there. So when you want it at the top, you just drag the window up. I just happen to have this on a blank chart, right? Make sense? It's very confusing, that one, because I show it with obviously a blank chart. So actually, I should leave it like that, shouldn't I? Because then people can see that there's a chart up there. I just want it on a blank, that's all. The reason being is because all these lines, look, I don't want all this bordering and the dates and everything. So that's why I have it set to blank. So you just basically change everything to none. Don't have to change everything to none, but line graph is the main thing you want to change to none. And then that disappears. What is that? I can't remember I had it now. I broke it. Or maybe it was all set to white. It might have all been set to white, actually. Line graph. There you go. White. It's all set to white. That's why. Bear with me while I just... it's like being in Bob Ross. Let me just paint this white. Here we go. We're going to put some nice clouds in. They're all white. Here we go. Okay, 125 ADR US dollar Swiss. We're just coming down into support on the weekly high from 3 weeks ago, which is this high here. So we're just retesting that area. Although I suspect this might slam straight through that because they seem to be very, very, very unimpressed with this US dollar news of the Treasury. PMIs have just come out negative as well. That's not going to help. So the PMIs have just come out as a negative number too. So absolutely nothing but negative news. God, do you imagine if they came out with a 5.25 this afternoon on that? Look out below. That is not coming back. So yeah, be careful trying to mean revert these. US indices will be through the roof. Pound US dollar ADR. ADR reversals, if you're running the ADR reversal set file, regardless of what settings you've got, whether you're using 100 or 125, just be aware that you may not get very good entries today. So if I use US dollar yen as an example, because that one's just flagged up. Yeah. So with 125 ADR on the US dollar yen, that's just going into profit. Look at that. That's my swap, $214. That's my average price. We're below average price. I'm still $200 in drawdown. So with these, obviously, you're dropping down M5 looking for the reversal alert. So let's say, for example, what happens now at 125 ADR is we do this. Yeah. For the rest of the afternoon until FOMC. When FOMC happens, you get a spike like that. Yeah. You will trigger a long trade there. The ADR happened here. You will trigger a long trade there, which is 125% of ADR away from where that hit was, because the reversal alert is what triggers the entry on M5. And if that candle is a massive spike and it goes one ADR above the reversal alert, that's where your entry is going to be. So if you want to be CAD Swiss ADR, if you want to be cautious, I'm probably going to do this, to be honest. I'm going to turn off the EA just for today on ADR reversals, and I'll turn it back on tomorrow morning, because what I don't want to do is get ridiculous entries. I don't want to go long on CAD Swiss up here off of an ADR reversal. That's literally what you could get today. So I'm just going to just deactivate the ADR account. Just turn auto trading off just for the minute. Just basically, so all I've done is just turned off, for those who don't know, just turned off auto trading. Just to stop that taking any stupid trades today. I need to remind myself to turn that back on. So yeah, I just don't want to take any stupid trades. CAD Swiss is nicely in profit in it. I might as well just take that as well. Take it, have it, have it. There we go. So 0.46. We get a decent push this evening in FOMC. I'll be flat on ADRs. That'd be beautiful, wouldn't it? So it'd be probably 19% banked and flat. That doesn't happen very often, does it? How often do you see me with a flat P&L? Indices all over the place. Look, there you go. Don't trade indices at the moment. There's just no point. FOMC. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm giving up. When there's news, I'm not interested. They just don't work. 225 on US dollar yen. Is that a question? No, 125. Not 225. Could be 225. If the Fed talk the US down during FOMC, I think we'll probably be more like 300, 400, especially after what they've just said today. I reckon they'll probably try and talk this back up this afternoon, but this evening, we'll see. But yeah, I do not want to get into any ADR reversals off the back of these today. H1's not as worried about any H1 RSI extensions. Aussie US was now 125. So big move on there. Nice rejection going on at the top there. That's a lovely tight one. So that one, no problem as an ADR reversal because it's nice and tight. And then obviously if the US dollar rallies, you're out, aren't you? But just in case, I'm just really surprised by this move ahead of FOMC. So just in case they carry that move on during FOMC, you're going to find yourself quite badly in drawdown, aren't you? So I don't think it's worth taking the risk today. Stupid question, but how do I set up the reversal EA to take trades at ADR? You can't. And not the orange boxes. You can't. It's a market reversal alerts EA. It trades market reversal alerts. It doesn't trade ADR, it trades reversals. Yeah. That's the whole purpose of it, is to trade market structure reversals. It's its job. You can't just trade. You can't. There's no point in getting in at ADR. If price hits ADR and you go short, you're grid trading, aren't you? So let's say, for example, price is hovering here. Yeah, that's ADR. And then we get a news event that sends this to 300 ADR. You just shorted it. It's ridiculous. Why would you do that? You're now 200 ADR in drawdown. You have to wait for a signal. ADR is a condition indicator. It tells you the market is stretched. You then need a signal indicator to get you into a move in the direction you want to achieve. So you use some kind of signal to tell you that you should be entering the market, which is the reversal alert. That's the signal indicator. This is a condition indicator. That is a condition indicator. You go and watch the video on the website about what a strategy is. On there. It's part of the bootcamp as well, but there is a video specifically. That one. It just breaks down all the parts. There's 4 main parts to any strategy: condition, signal, target, stop, or backup plan. Shouldn't be a stop. So yeah, you don't get in because there's a condition. You get in when there's a condition and a signal. You need a confluence of things. And ideally, as we have here, just so happens, a second confluence of a weekly high. So you've got condition, ADR extension, condition, double top, weekly high bounce, signal, reversal alert. Target, lows, stop, above highs, if you want to use a stop. Backup plan, 175 to 200 ADR. Dumb question. Why is everybody asking stupid and dumb questions today? Built a symbol indicator. No errors in MetaTrader when compiled. Bring it onto a chart. Custom indie window shows with all the settings. Hit OK and nothing. That's a dumb question. Yeah. How could I possibly know what's wrong with that? I don't know. Don't know. Check your logs. It's programming. There's a billion things that could be wrong. You could have a comma in the wrong place or a semicolon missing. Mind you, that would come up in the compiler, but I don't know. And don't ask me. I'm not troubleshooting code for people. It's not my job. So just checking this is working. It is. Oh, that's good. That's closed out as well. $214. 208 target. Good job. Still working. I feel like I've just given birth to Frankenstein's monster. It's alive. And it's doing what it should be doing. I'm changing brokers, so I'd love for this dollar to dive so I can get flat. If you want to change brokers in the middle of a portfolio, 150 ADR on something. Missed it. US dollar Swiss, 150 ADR. Be careful. If you want to change brokers, what you can do is remove half the funds, depending on what broker you're using. But you can remove half the funds out of the account, put it into a new broker, and then wait for this to just go. And obviously start trading on the other account. If you start making money on the other account, you can use some of that profit to reduce this. So there's nothing wrong with, here, for example, let's say, for example, I'm in massive drawdown on something here. Yeah, let's say I'm in 5% drawdown and I'm like, crap, I need to get rid of 2.5% of that. I can use the profit from the ADR reversals account, which I've made 18% on, and take 2.5% off of the H1M5 account. It's all my money. It's a portfolio of multiple accounts. So take half of it out now, move it, and then whittle this account down gradually. Just let it play these trades out however long it takes to get out of them. I've done that myself. Yeah, there's nothing to say that you have to have all your money in that broker, is there? Just move it when you're ready. So, it's starting to pull back a little bit now. So pulling back slightly on these moves. But certainly an indication of what might be coming later. To add to the stupid question, I can save a chart layout and then move brokers and apply it on a chart in the new broker. You can, yeah. So you just save anything you save as a template in here. You just go into your open data folder and it's in profiles. Yeah, so this folder is your, that's your profile. Your template will be in MQL4 templates folder in there. Yeah, but if you've got indicators, you can copy your indicators over. So just copy the indicators folder over. However, if you've bought any indicators or EAs, you cannot copy them over. You can, but you're better off downloading them from the marketplace. You can copy them over. So if it's on the same PC, you're okay. You can copy them over, actually. It's just if you change PC, you can't copy them because they're encrypted to your computer and your MT4 terminal. Do you run each strategy on a separate account? Yes. Always run different strategies on different accounts. Otherwise, you've no idea what's working and what's not working. So if I have 3 months where the hedging loses money, I know the hedging isn't working. If I have everything running on one account, I've got no idea where the profit's coming from. You can't do any analysis. And also you can't manage the individual positions. Each of them's got different. So my exits on ADR reversals are going to be a lot tighter. This is more of a scalping strategy, so I'm in and out quicker. If I've got a trade in profit, how do I know? I mean, you can tell, obviously, because you can have everything commented so you know what type of trade it was. But you don't want to have to go into here every time there's a trade on. And that was an ADR reversal, so I should be targeting half an ADR on that one. Unless you have the EA doing it for you, obviously. But But yeah, always run different strategies on different accounts. Afternoon, Sandeep. Right. I've got nothing else to cover this afternoon. Basically, because it's FOMC day, what I was actually expecting was a very, very sideways day. The Treasury have thrown a little bit of a spanner in the works. ECB rate cuts have been brought forward and higher, as have Fed. So there's a good chance this afternoon of this euro move, sort of this euro collapsing, basically. Euro US dollar 125 ADR, and the US dollar move either continuing to 200, 300 ADR, or they will completely rally it and go back the other way. So, as I said, there's no point in doing any analysis at the moment, because this evening it all changes. So we'll have a look at it all tomorrow and see where the market's gone. But for the moment, I've just turned off ADR reversals. So I don't want to take any new trades off the back of this. I want to wait for FOMC, and then I'll turn it back on and we'll get back into things normally from tomorrow. ADRs, RSIs, no problem getting into new positions if we're getting extended on stuff, which we will be, probably. Nothing at the moment. But there are things that are going to get extended, I suspect. So I might take some ADR, RSI reversals if we get a continuation push on the US, and obviously the hedging will just do what the hell it likes. So here we go. Do you back up any MT4 folders on the cloud? Nope. Which MT4 folders would you consider critical in a failed server recovery scenario? I don't know. Don't know. If the server failed, I would just set it up again. I'll just get another one and build it, put it back up. I need an EA on the chart and a set file. That's it. I've got all my set files here, and I upload them to the VPS. So if the VPS was to blow up, I would buy another VPS, put the EA up there, load the set file, and off we go. I don't have any backup recovery scenario. It's a trading account. At the end of the day, what's the worst thing that can happen? The EA stops running and I have to manually manage everything. If that was to ever happen, that's what I'd do. I don't really think there's anything you need to back up. But if you're worried about it, just back up everything. Yeah. So, whoops. Just go into your file, open data folder, and grab templates, profiles, and MT4 and copy them somewhere. Everything is stored. Your templates are all stored in there. Your profiles are all stored in there if you use profiles. MT4, your indicators, your EAs, and your set files are all stored in there. So just back that lot up if you want to. I'm late. Can't stay. Just come in to hit the like button. Good person. Good JC. Good man. Or woman. Don't know. Afternoon, Amy. Stupider question. If it's not wise to trade from ADR, why do you have a strategy running where it says ADR reversals on it? Who said it wasn't wise to trade from ADR? That's one of my main strategies. Look. What? I'm lost for words. I don't know what to say. I've been doing this for years in here. Steve, you've been in here for a while, haven't you? I thought you said it would be good trading. Yeah, if you just took if you took a trade at ADR without a signal, that's good trading. I don't do that, do I? This is the market reversal alerts. This is, look, I've just shown you. I'll show you again. So this is my VPS. This is the ADR reversals account. Every pair is running on it with the market reversal alerts EA, trading, ADR reversals. Has been for years. How have you missed this, Steve? The market reversal alerts EA does not take trades at ADR. The market reversal alert EA takes trades on market reversal alerts. That's why it's called the market reversal alerts EA. That is the signal. Every trade I take on every account I have only ever happens on a reversal alert. That's the only way I get into a trade. That has to happen. If that doesn't happen, there is no trade. The conditions I trade under are RSI extension or ADR extension. You said about taking a trade. How can I get the EA to take a trade at ADR without the orange box? The orange box is critical. There is no trade without the orange box. That's the reason the trade is taken, because of the orange box. If you're taking a trade when you get to ADR and there's no orange box, you're basically hoping that price turns from there. It could go 300 ADR beyond that. And if it goes 300 ADR beyond that and there is no sellers, there is no trade. When there's sellers, a reversal alert, there is a trade. That's why we take trades on reversal alerts on the 5-minute time frame with the ADR strategy. That is the strategy, which is why I was saying, look at this. You don't want to get in that because it's miles away. Have I misunderstood? Your question was, how can I get a trade taken at ADR without an orange box, reversal alert? You can't, because that's grid trading. Grid trading is where you enter when price hits a level, like pivot points. We hit a pivot point, so I'm going short. Why are you going short when you hit a pivot point? What if it goes up to the next pivot point or the next pivot point? Well, I'll go short and short again. So what you're doing is you're placing a grid of trades. Grid trading does not work because of exactly what I just said. Yeah. 2% of the year, we exceed 225% of ADR. If you grid traded ADR extensions and price on FOMC does that in one candle, you are going short 6 times. You are in drawdown on 6 positions because a candle went into the market. When the market stops up here and reverses, I take a trade because there's a reversal. I'm expecting price to come down, but I'm waiting for the sellers to come down. Yeah. There has never been a strategy without the market reversal alert. That is why it's called the market reversal alerts EA. It literally trades market reversal alerts. Can't trade any other way. That's it. Condition, signal. But grid trading is a totally different thing. Position. People often get grid trading and position trading mixed up. The difference between grid trading and position trading is you will only get into a trade when your guys are on board with you. Grid trading is where you place a grid of trades, usually always the exact same distance apart, 10 pips, 50 pips, 30 pips, it doesn't matter what the distance is. You are placing a grid, hoping that the price will push through that grid and at some point come back so that you can exit your position. If price pushes through that grid, accumulates and drops, you're dead. You've blown your account. That's why grid trading doesn't work. It will work for a while, same as martingale will work for a while, but eventually your grid will fail and you will blow your account. With position trading, if we have the same grid and price pushes down and the very first pullback is there, that is our first entry. We have got no drawdown on any of this. And then if price pushes up, great. If price pushes down beyond the ADR level that we've set to scale into our positions and we get a reverse alert, we take another position. If it pushes down beyond that by 1.5 ADR before we get a reverse alert, the next entry is 1.5 ADR away from the first one. We get in only when the banks are starting to go our way and do what we want them to do. With a grid trading strategy, and this is why a lot of these ones on Forex Factory that look great on paper, like pivot point trading, doesn't work because it's all based around grids. There's loads of grid trading EAs out there. Beautiful back tests over a period of time. Take it and try it over 3 years before that. Go, you're gone. Oh, let's do martingale on grid because it's highly unlikely it's going to go much further, is it? 2% of the year, it does. 3% of the year, it does that. 6% of the year, it does that. 12% of the year, it does that. 10% of the year, if you only took one trade a month, one or two of your trades a year are going to blow your account. Doesn't work. JP is hard at work prepping for FOMC. You haven't posted anything, Brian. We've already got some. Oh, there we go. Here it comes. Very good. So this is Mr. Powell getting ready for FOMC. Hands are not looking bad today. Wrong one. This is the FOMC one. This is the one I like. Look at John's glasses. Shot. They've melted, basically. Anyway, it's not about trading this afternoon, is it? Just talking rubbish. Martingale is great until it isn't. Yeah. I've built tons of grid EAs, tons of martingale EAs, mainly to disprove them, which they have all been disproved. I can get them all to work for a period of time, but they will all fail at some point. I've even introduced drawdown control into martingale, drawdown control into grid. I've tried everything, and it will work great for a period of time. It's one of those things, if you wanted to double an account within a short period of time, with the full knowledge that there is a high probability that you will lose everything, those strategies can work. Yeah, you can have a grid or a martingale system work nicely for a month or two, 3, until it doesn't, which you never know. It could be that the first trade you take is the one that doesn't work, and in which case you blow it first time. It could be that it doesn't blow for 4 months. And if you can double your account in 4 months, you can go from 5 grand to 20 grand. You can suddenly start to trade properly with decent capital. But at some point, you know it's going to blow. The problem with it all is, if you can prove to yourself that it can do that for 3 months, you won't stop. Because you'll be like, I'll push it 1 more month. I'll push it 1 more month. The problem with it is gambling. It's just gambling. So it has a short-term edge. Casinos, it has a short-term edge. Martingale, there's multiple casino gambling strategies, martingale being one of them, that do work in trading for a period of time. But this is the thing. When you go into a casino, you're not going in there to make a living. You're going in there to try and game the system in a way that you get paid. People that go in and game the system regularly in casinos and have lucky streaks get booted out of casinos because they're playing the edge. There is always a way to play the edge, but it's only for short term and it's got to have luck involved in it. That's what happens with grid. This month, on a lot of pairs, yeah, if you'd have been grid trading for the entire month of November and December into January, you would have cleaned up. If somebody on the 23rd of November launched for the first time their grid trading EA that basically scaled in positions as you moved down half an ADR, and it scaled in at quarter ADR increments and then got out when the market pushed back up again. If they'd have run that strategy and tested it, they would have absolutely killed it until they didn't kill it anymore. But they probably would have got out on something like that. But it's all to do with market condition and market regime. And those martingale strategies and grid trading strategies work well in decent trending markets and range-bound markets and breakout markets and failed breakout markets, but they will never work in parabolic trends. They will always, always, always blow the account. Dead. Guaranteed. I was up to 7 or 8% drawdown in that. Possibly even a little bit more at some points, probably in this later stage. But I recovered using aggressive drawdown control. The problem with martingale is it just goes into aggressive. I mean, you can't even get to an aggressive drawdown control point. By the time you've doubled, here you're at 32 lots. You're dead. You're just dead. This doesn't work. And before you say, let's start with a 0.01, try it. If you used a 0.01 on H4 time frame or daily, you probably would be okay with martingale strategy. You wouldn't make much money because obviously using a 0.01, when do you get out? When you've got 10 quid, 15 quid, dollars, whatever? Probably. But, you know, it's not going to work a long time, is it? Right, I'm going to leave it there today. ADR hit on US dollar CAD. We know that. Oh, it's just been hit. So there's another one. So we've got lots of US movement coming in, and it doesn't seem to be stopping at the moment. We are pulling back a little bit on some of these. Some of them we're not. So I'm just wondering if we're going to sit now until 7 for the next 3 to 4 hours. We're just going to sit here, wait for FOMC. This is where the danger is. FOMC dumps the US dollar. We're going to see 225 ADR plus going down there. So this is what I'm saying. Just be very careful about trying to mean revert these moves. There's 3 positions in the market: long, short, and flat. Ahead of big news events like this, flat is a very, very good position because you can't lose money. So this is why I say anything you got in profit, stick it down here. You can't lose it if it's in your bank. If it's up there, it's vulnerable. So be careful today. Why have I opened this terminal? I want to go on the last one. Thanks, Momo. Nice afternoon. Okay. Naz, short TP'd for the day. I need to walk away from the screen. Yeah, I would. Just going to update my MT5 terminal. Let's see if it blows up when it restarts. Let's see if everything explodes. I'm not sure which version I'm updating to, whether it's the bug version or not. 4153. 2024 January. That's the fixed version. So there we go. Everything should work. If I switch timeframes, we should be okay. Yes. This was a problem with the MT5 update they did. As soon as you changed timeframes, it removed your indicators and the EAs from the charts. Good one, MQL5. Fixed it. Right, so I'll be back tomorrow. Same time, 7:50, 2:20. Be very wary this afternoon with FOMC. Something's bubbling here, look. Treasury announcing before FOMC is not normal. This isn't normal behavior. So there's something potentially bubbling with this US. There may be an announcement coming, FOMC statement or in the press conference. So just be a little careful and get any US off the table before the announcement, I would. All right, so back tomorrow. We'll have a look at everything. I'm going to try and do a quick video this afternoon, if I've got time, just doing a recap of the strategies for the month, going over them in more detail, a little bit like I did before. Yeah, we'll go from there tomorrow. So first day of the month tomorrow, back to flat. It's February, starting again. Hooray. Another month. All right, so have a good day. Good luck in FOMC, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Have a good one.